One of the things about a mobile home park is very often there's a really good sense of community. Small parks, big parks, poor parks, rich parks, any kind of park, you really depend on each other and help each other. And that part is really very inspiring to me. And it's one of the reasons we live here, is we love it.
In the mobile home park, my neighbors rolled out my trash. All the men on the block did the errands after my husband passed away. So if you ask me which one I enjoyed living in the most, it would be the manufactured housing.
And I've never lived anywhere where 5 people stop and say hi on my way out of here. You know, never lived in a neighborhood like this. So, yeah, it's a good place, for the most part.
Arizona continues to shatter records when it comes to the heat.
Extreme heat from across the country has killed dozens of people.
Temperatures over the past few days broke 3 records in just 1 week.
And heat has been suspected in hundreds of deaths.
Some Phoenix areas, you do have people that live there year-round, and they really struggle because it's so hard to just keep it cool. At night, you know, it might be a little bit of relief because it cools down slightly, but you and I both know that it doesn't cool down much after it's over 100 degrees.
There was a rule that the community made or had in their rules that the RVs could not have window air conditioners, if you can believe it. And so they went around and gave notice to everybody in an RV to get rid of their window air conditioners and their shade structures.
The first year that we were here, and it was 118 degrees during maybe a month, I would take a bag of ice to bed with me to cool down. And I'd have a bowl sitting in front of a fan, blowing cool air in there too.
The people that run this place and own this place do not provide any sort of replacement parts or anything else we might need. And we own our homes. We're not renters. You know, we're only renting the land. So they don't have to.
For many people, mobile homes are their homes. And they have every right to be protected, to get what they pay for.
These places were not made for wheelchairs. The reason I don't like people to come in is because the walls are all beat up really, really badly, and I've taken all the corner pieces off, and I'm like, why fix it? Because I'm just gonna do it again. So.
It used to be that the owners were the managers. It was like many mom and pop groups that ran the parks, and they knew the residents and they cared about them. Now the owners are often corporations from out of state. They'd have very little contact with the residents.
In an older park, while you see the clubhouse and all the things that they can beautify, the basic infrastructure that was created maybe 25 or 30 years ago really needs to be updated.
It's cheaper to just put temporary fixes in for electrical rather than to redo all the electrical lines. So we're talking about probably thousands and thousands of dollars that are needed to upgrade parks so that they actually are safe, to tell you the truth.
They're making a lot of money already. They're making enormous profits off of these mobile home parks. They can make these repairs. They have an obligation under the law to make these repairs already and to use the profits that they're already making to keep people safe.
Now, one of the things AMHO would like to do is to be able to have some master meter parks where it's not going well, have them change over to individual billing. But the problem with that is that the utilities won't do that until the infrastructure is up to code. They kind of lump the payments together with the utilities and the rent. So you can't just say, okay, I can afford to pay all the rent, but only half of my utilities this month. If you do that, you could get evicted.
They're doing whatever they can to push the lower income residents out, because if they can push them out with other kind of bogus fees, then they can seize those mobile homes and make a profit off of selling them.
And this is not regulated by anyone. And retaliation happens in the parks. It happens against people who complain. They'll find some silly excuse to serve them an eviction notice. And that's not right at all. It's heartbreaking. Where are they going to go? I mean, you can't afford to get into an apartment if you can't afford to pay your rent here.
You talk to somebody who lives in a mobile home, they'll tell you, I'm paying $1,000 to $1,500, sometimes $2,000 a month. And if you're paying that kind of money, you at least should know that you're not going to be put in danger. You're not going to be in a position where you might die in the middle of the summer. I think it's the first time in anyone's memory where people can't afford their electricity such that they're now trying to go without electricity or having their electricity shut off, and it's literally killing people.
The summer heat in Arizona can be deadly, whether you're outside in the sun or even inside your home.
A 63-year-old man found dead on May 13th after his power was disconnected.
There's been another possible heat-related death in the valley. An elderly man was found unresponsive early Tuesday morning inside his mobile home.
Politicians have frankly ignored the crisis in our mobile home communities. My job is to hold these owners accountable under the Arizona Consumer Fraud Act and the Landlord-Tenant Act.
Only the last 3 months has anybody been enforcing the Landlord-Tenant Act, and that would be the Attorney General. After I hounded her department. Might not want to say that. Before that, all of the agencies said they didn't have the authority to enforce the Landlord-Tenant Act.
It's not just about the affordability issue. It's about whether people can continue to live in Arizona, and a lot is at stake here.
I believe this is nothing more than a case of blatant corporate greed.